Focusing on the security situation in the Eastern DRC and regional stability. The meeting took place at the President's Kisozi farm, where the two leaders discussed issues of mutual interest, with particular emphasis on efforts to restore peace in the Eastern Congo. President Museveni said that peace and stability remain essential for the prosperity of the region and reaffirmed Uganda's commitment to working with regional partners to address the security challenges facing Eastern DRC. The meeting comes amid ongoing regional diplomatic efforts that are aimed at finding lasting solutions to insecurity in the eastern part of the DRC in Congo. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in other news, has met the ambassador of the Republic of Turkey to Uganda, His Excellency Mehmet Fatih Ak, to discuss issues aimed at strengthening cooperation between the two countries. The meeting was at the President's Kisozi farm in Gomba district, where the two leaders exchanged views on matters of mutual interest for the benefit of the people of Uganda and Turkey. President Museveni said that the discussions focused on deepening bilateral relations and advancing areas of shared interest as the two countries continue to strengthen diplomatic and economic cooperation. The Electoral Commission has kicked off the checking and verification of details in the voters' registers for LC1 and Village Women's Council's registers as stated in the roadmap. The exercise will started on the 13th of July, which is today, and it will end on the 14th of July. Eligible voters have been called upon to cross-check their details.
The Electoral Commission spokesperson Julius Muchunguzi has said no additional time will be allocated to those who missed registration exercise, saying the 1 week period was enough.
There are people who say that there are people that missed the registration. That phase for registration ended. And you see, the Electoral Commission, the reason why the Electoral Commission issues a roadmap and a program is to make sure that you have timelines. Because if you have no timelines and a cut-off point, you can never do anything. But most importantly, you register those who are willing. There is no compilation. No one is forced to register. So we take it, the Commission takes it, and the people of Uganda take it, that those who showed up during the 5 days were the ones who are willing to participate in this process.
In the quest to clean up the register, people have been called upon to cross-check for flaws that could have been captured during the registration exercise. For example, dead voters, minors, non-residents, and foreigners.
Now this period of 13th, today, Monday 13th, and tomorrow 14th of July, people are going to come and say, so and so says that they vote from this place. Where do they live? We have a question mark on them. So when anybody raises a question mark on somebody, that our village election officer will record those names. And those names will be taken to a committee. There is a committee that is in place that will review those persons where complaints have been raised.
He clarified that voting by lining up behind candidates is legally provided for in the law. Polling for the election of Village LC1 chairpersons will take place on Tuesday, 28th of July 2026 in the 71,214 villages.
The voting for these LC1 chairpersons and women council and committees elections is going to be by lining up. We want the viewers and listeners to understand that lining up is provided for in the law. It is not a creation of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission follows the laws that are in place. On the 28th of July, when we are electing the village chairperson, LC1 chairperson, lining up will be at the same time across the country. What that means is that you cannot line up in two places at the same time. So there are safeguards in place to make sure that there is no cheating, there is no manipulation,
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has also rolled out a post-general election evaluation exercise to assess the exercise and identify the strengths and weaknesses which will inform future elections in the country.
Purpose is to, one, establish what worked well, what were the best practices, so that those best practices can be replicated across the country. Number two, areas that need improvement. Which were those areas that need improvement that we need to address?
Crispus Adinitwe, Emmanuel Makabai, reporting for UBC.
The leadership of the National Unity Platform has called upon Ugandans to participate in the LC1 elections as a critical move to improve service delivery at the grassroots. During a press briefing at the party headquarters in Makere, Kavule, leaders urged voters to elect competent leaders.
The leader of opposition in parliament, Joel Senyonyi, has said the opposition will not be intimidated into silence and will expose corruption in what he described as abuse of power.
For example, as leader of the opposition, I am duty-bound to hold government accountable, together with my colleagues. But it does not stop with us leaders. Every Ugandan has got that duty. Why? Because as a Ugandan, you're a taxpayer. So if your tax money is being stolen, you have a duty to speak out against that corruption. No one should try and shut you up. No. Because you are duty-bound, you are a stakeholder.
Meanwhile, National Unity Platform Secretary General David Lewis Rubongoya encouraged Ugandans to participate in the village elections to ensure that effective leadership starts at the grassroots.
National Unity Platform
First of all, I appreciate all the supporters of NUP and members who have come out to participate in the ongoing LC exercise. We have so far registered very many candidates. And many members of NUP who are being advised to come independent because they are not going to declare them, because they are going to do what, which is very unfortunate. The current LC chairpersons took over the exercise, and some people have been going to register and they don't find people who are supposed to register them. Some of those who have been hiding and all that.
Rubongoya thanked the Katichiro of Uganda, Charles Peter Mayiga, for speaking out on the rights of suspects and the need to uphold due process.
All of you saw us at the court. We were very happy that Rubongoya was released. Of course, what is happening to former Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago, what is happening to Dr. Kiza Bestie and others, it is unfortunate.
On the resignation of Mariam Wangadia, Rubongoya was concerned over reports of electoral malpractice and urged citizens to remain vigilant.
Here, no. The trials and tribulations we have gone through as NUP under Mariam Wangadia must all work for the rule of law. And like Martin Luther King said, we either live together as brothers or perish together as fools.
Kampala Lord Mayor Joseph Balimwezi Nsubuga urged voters to elect capable leaders.
And therefore I want to call upon all the people of Uganda to come out and vote. Because you're voting a judge, you're voting a leader. We have the Local Courts Act that makes the chairman also a chairman of the local courts, where we are going to have disputes.
Crispus Adinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, reporting for UBC.
The Interparty Organization for Dialogue has completed the verification of documents submitted by the National Unity Platform and the Alliance for National Transformation, bringing the two opposition parties closer to becoming full members of the platform. IPOD Executive Secretary Dr. Lawrence Sirambala Kabagambe says that the remaining step is for the leaders of the member political parties to convene and formally approve the admission of NUP and ANT into the organization.
And ANT submitted requests to join IPOD membership. The IPOD committee responsible for handling the matter has completed assessment and recommended that the two parties be admitted.
True that NUP and ANT have joined IPOD. Admission is not yet complete, but the recommendation of Council to submit for the admission of NUP is done.
IPOD Executive Director Dr. Lawrence Kabagabe says IPOD is awaiting the meeting of party leaders for the final decision.
This MOU has a process through which a political party gets admitted or joins IPOD. Now, if along the way there was an oversight or there are a few things that a political party did not fulfill, then Summit can flag them. And once Summit flags them, then it will direct us on the next step of looking at NUP getting on board and ANT for them to bring out these grievances, the issues, in a manner so that the issues are resolved in a manner that is civil, and that is through dialogue.
Meanwhile, NRM spokesperson Emmanuel Dombo says the admission of NUP and ANT would enrich political dialogue on national issues.
This is something that is very much welcome. For me, I look forward to welcoming the National Inter-Platform and the ANT into the forum of civilized parties to talk about the problems of Uganda. So right from the word go, makes people who are adversaries to come together. Solutions can only be found through dialogue. In politics in Uganda, there is no absolute winning. Once we have elected a president, we have members of parliament, all those leaders are supposed to talk on behalf of all Ugandans, whether they elected them or not. So it is only through dialogue that we can find solutions to our problems. So dialogue is good, and I strongly believe that if they are honest, dialogue is going to work for the people.
The development follows recent amendments to the law introduced by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao. Irene Faith Nantongo, Joseph Muyingo, UBC News.
The High Court's Criminal Division has directed the Registrar of High Court to provide Dr. Kizza Besigye and Haj Obed Lutale with a list of state brief lawyers from which they can choose legal representation in their treason and misprision of treason case. This follows the failure by their defense lawyers to appear in court as earlier directed without offering any explanation for their absence.
Dr. Kizza Besigye, Haj Obed Lutale and Captain Ola Oyadenish, who told court they have been forcibly brought from Nuzira Government Prison, appeared before High Court Criminal Division for the hearing of the treason and misprision of treason charges. Although the prosecution, led by Chief State Anthony Richard Ibiri Vumbuka, was ready to commence the hearing, proceedings could not continue because the defense legal team was absent. Addressing court on his own behalf, and on the behalf of Haj Obed Lutale, Dr. Kizza Besigye explained that their lawyers failed to attend court because of a pending High Court application concerning their legal representation.
That application was even touching the earlier application 227, where we never served the respondents.
They also informed court that they had not received any disclosures of the prosecution evidence. However, Dr. Kizza Besigye raised concern over the presenter's public remarks regarding their trial, but the court declined to entertain the submissions.
And that's why today we have said no. And we wrote a letter. Unfortunately, that letter, I think, also was detained by the prisons. We wrote a letter on Friday.
Prosecution objected to the submissions made by the accused. In his ruling, Judge Emmanuel Baguma dismissed Dr. Kizza Besigye's prayers, citing the constitutional right to a fair and speedy trial. He directed the Registrar of High Court to provide the accused with a list of state brief lawyers from which they would choose a legal representation.
My view, this case has suffered several delays. The challenges of the legal team which keeps coming. The registrar should avail to the chosen person that list of all lawyers of the state brief in the criminal division. And then this list should be given to the chosen persons through Nuzira, for the chosen persons group at this moment and choose as the fallback. Choose some lawyers of their choice.
Judge Emmanuel Baguma further ordered the prosecution to disclose all evidence to both the accused and the state brief lawyers selected to enable the case to proceed without unnecessary delay.
I'm directing the Registrar of Criminal Division to avail the copies. In any case, the proceedings are by transcribing.
The court also ruled that any private lawyers selected by the accused may work alongside with the state brief selected lawyers. Court will resume on 15th July 2026 for mention of the case. The accused Dr. Kanokiza Besigye, Haji Obedi Lutale, and Captain Ola Oyadenish were further remanded to Luzira Government Prison. Deborah Namamonde, Bayola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
The Deputy Inspector General of Government, Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria, has called upon Entebbe municipal councillors and the technical officers to uphold integrity, transparency and accountability if they are to serve the public. She was opening an induction and capacity building workshop to equip elected leaders with knowledge and skills to effectively execute their duties.
Entebbe municipality councillors and technical officers have begun a two-day induction designed to strengthen their understanding of leadership principles, roles and responsibilities to enhance effective service delivery.
Do not wait for someone to check you.
Officiating at the opening ceremony, the Deputy Inspector General of Government, Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria, urged the leaders to remain committed to ethical leadership, transparency and accountability in the execution of their duties.
People get to enjoy their leadership tenure as councillors, and I also told them to be keen and mindful of issues to do with integrity and accountability, transparency and anti-corruption in their work, and be keen on the conscience. What does their conscience say?
The Inspectorate of Government continues to receive complaints from several local governments, including Entebbe Municipality, citing concerns over the allocation of stalls in the newly constructed Chitoro market.
But for us as the anti-corruption agency, the lead anti-corruption agency, we see a great improvement in terms of the recovery of funds. Like last financial year, we recovered close to 76 billion, which has gone back to the consolidated fund. When the financial year ended, it was swept back. And we see that as a tremendous contribution. But also we are enhancing the prosecution arm of the Inspectorate of Government, in that most of the cases that are coming now are being sent for prosecution, and we are doing the high impact cases.
The induction will help councillors understand their roles, legal mandate and the operational environment of local government.
We don't even have an executive yet. After this induction, we are planning to have a full council on the 22nd of this month, and that will be like the first meeting for the business, apart from the first council that we had, where they were sworn in as elected councillors.
Meanwhile, councillors who attended the workshop were optimistic the knowledge will enable them serve their communities.
The issue of corruption, as educated to us by the Deputy IGG, it starts with you as a person. Your character, your integrity and the way you do things is where the corruption starts. It does not start from the space, it starts with me as a person.
Kubanga batulonda wano kuleta maloboozi gaabwe na kulota birowoozo byabwe butawe kisobola okubaweereza mu bitundu ebyenjawulo bye tuvaamu. Kyensuubira nti buli kitundu ky'Entebbe wano kirina ebizibu ebitafaanagana.
Uganda People's Defense Forces troops serving under the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia, alongside the Somali National Army, have conducted a joint security patrol in the Barawi subsector as part of efforts to enhance peace and stability in the coastal town and surrounding areas.
As part of their mandate in Somalia, the joint forces conduct regular patrols, securing key supply routes and working with local communities to degrade Al-Shabaab's ability to operate. The mission focuses on protecting civilians, enabling the delivery of humanitarian aid, and creating conditions for Somali security forces to take a full responsibility for their country's security. UPDF Battle Group 45 Commander Colonel Justice Musenene said they will continue to conduct patrols in Balawe subsector to maintain pressure on security threats and create conducive environment for peace and development.
Better come out before we come to you. And this is what my colleague, the great commander, have just said. We are not here to stay. We are here to stay, and we are not here to sit down. So I'll hunt for you. So I thank my brigade commander, his commanders, and the AUSOM for the support they have given us. We can assure you your support Al-Shabaab will be no more.
Colonel Abdurrahman Elim echoed the message, calling on the residents of Balawe to continue supporting the security forces by sharing information with the authorities.
Why they think Barawe is a safe haven. We are going to capture them. Better either go back or surrender to AUSOM or SNH and work together. Otherwise, I thank God for participating in the operation, commanders on levels, our national security forces, and our AMISOM commanders. And thanks for this operation, and we hope we'll continue with this one spirit, teamwork, and we shall wipe up Al-Shabaab wherever you are. Thanks so much. God bless you.
The patrol strengthens security and denies space to Al-Shabaab's militants operating in Barawe.
Just to assure the civilians of Barawe, the district, and the surroundings that they should feel free, they are protected, and we are ready to protect them. They do not get worried.
Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
Uganda is hosting an international training and human resource development for nuclear experts in Kampala to strengthen workforce planning and promote the competence and welfare of personnel working with nuclear technology. The chairperson of the Atomic Energy Council, Sam Kinyera Oboya, says that the training will help regulatory bodies identify future human resource needs and establish sustainable workforce development plans.
The Uganda Atomic Energy Council is hosting the first training on human resource development and competence management for nuclear experts. The course aims to enhance participants' understanding of the International Atomic Energy Agency guidelines and tools to enable regulatory bodies effectively perform their regulatory functions.
Robust institution framework should not be vulnerable to weakness of individual actors and should enable the actors to interact respecting their independence. So interacting between the actors is very important.
Atomic Energy Council Chairperson Sam Kinyera Oboya says such engagements are essential in enabling countries to keep pace with evolving nuclear science and technology.
In medicine, agriculture, industry, research, mining, education, and for some countries, nuclear power programs. These expanding mandates require equally robust human resource strategies capable of supporting both current and future regulatory functions.
The participants are senior officers from across Africa responsible for managing organizations and maintaining institutional competence in the nuclear sector.
I'm from the technical part of things, so I do the licensing, not more on the human resource staffing. But it's interesting to have been here and to learn about it. And I think going back to South Africa, I'll be able to engage with HR on certain requirements from the IAEA.
In Swaziland, nuclear is going to be housed in our ministry under the environmental department. So I'm here to learn on how to recruit and develop nuclear capable people.
Facilitators emphasize that African governments need to establish effective and independent regulatory systems to ensure a safe and secure use of nuclear technology.
For safety and security reasons, because
An independent regulator can make decisions solely based on scientific basis, not on your own personal judgment. Regulators don't make judgment based on your personal opinions, but facts and figures based on science.
Competence in the nuclear sector depends on a combination of academic knowledge, practical skills acquired through training, and the right professional attitude.
I have academic degree in physics. I'm competent. No. You only have one component of it. I've been trained as a radiation protection professional. Now, how did you get that training? You had education before, right? Without that education, you couldn't have been trained. These two are there. They can build your skills. But if you have a bad attitude, you can't perform your work. You can't relate with others. Every time you are fighting with everybody, nobody would like to work with you. That makes you a bad regulator.
So, human resource development plans should be tailored to the opportunities and needs of individual countries.
So the same way, the competences, the required competences of the regulators should be commensurate with the number of facilities. So don't go building competence for nuclear power when you do not have a nuclear power in your country. For what? It's not necessary.
In Uganda, the Atomic Energy Council is the body responsible for licensing and regulating the peaceful application of nuclear technology. Now, this training has been organized under the International Atomic Energy Agency Regional Safety Project. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News.
The High Court in Soroti has closed an election petition challenging the election of Soroti City woman MP Joan Alobo. The petitioner, Sarah Inachu, withdrew the petition and court ordered each party to meet their own legal costs. Justice Boniface Wamala ruled that the decision promotes reconciliation and post-election unity.
Sarah Inachu had sought to overturn the election victory over Chom Joan Alobo as woman member of parliament for Soroti City. She has withdrawn the petition. Justice Boniface Wamala said court had considered the election petition rules and the Civil Procedure Act before granting the application. He ordered each party to bear its own legal costs.
For purpose of healing and socio-political cohesion, I find that I should exercise discretion not to award costs against the petition.
In the spirit of unity, in the spirit of community building, in the spirit of magnanimity, our client Joan agreed to waive costs.
For Sarah Inachu, withdrawing the petition was less about politics and more about restoring harmony. After the ruling, Joan Alobo welcomed the withdrawal.
We were steady, we were not scared, we were shaken because we know we had won these elections massively. The people of Soroti kept on calling me and encouraging me.
Alobo says her focus returns to delivering on the mandate entrusted to her by her electorate over the next 5 years.
I am ready to serve my people of Soroti with peace and unity and prosperity. We shall continue from where we stopped, and I promise you, this time round, better services for our city.
Alobo's legal team described the outcome as a victory for dialogue over division.
A lot of things happen, but community leadership requires that you let things go. So she's done a good job to concede to the request for her to waive her costs for the people of Soroti so that, you know, life can move on and move on peacefully.
The withdrawal officially clears the way for the Soroti City woman member of parliament to serve her term without further legal challenge arising from the case.
So help me God.
Henry Okrut, UBC.
A delegation from the Embassy of the United States of America in Uganda has visited West Nile sub-region to advance the U.S. contributions to Uganda's Ebola response, regional health security and humanitarian response.
The U.S. Embassy in Uganda, led by Mika Cleverly, the chargé d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy Uganda, has visited Arua Regional Referral Hospital and Uganda Virus Research Institute Arua branch in a move to supporting Uganda's Ebola response and strengthening regional preparedness.
On the economic costs of public health emergencies, couldn't agree more, and that just underscores the importance of us working together as collaboratively, as impactfully, as transparently as possible so that we can resolve and contain this epidemic as quickly as possible. On Uganda's response, it's clear over the past many weeks that we've been working on this since the outbreak first emerged in DRC, that Ugandan authorities, whether it's at the state level, it's at the district level, the regional level, knows what to do, is doing it successfully, and we arrived decades ago. We've been working on humanitarian response. We've been providing assistance, life-saving and emergency, to refugees and refugee hosting communities on health and other areas. We have a long-standing PEPFAR partnership. Now we're making that partnership much more impactful, much more effective, and a closer collaboration with the Ministry of Health as we roll out a over $2 billion health memorandum understanding, which will address not only HIV/AIDS, but also other aspects of public health. So all of this is to say, we have been here. It's Ebola.
The West Nile Regional Border Health Coordinator, Elias Mahmoud, says there are 10 gazetted entry points where screening of truck drivers and movers of essential goods between Uganda and DRC are done.
At the point of entry, not only Vura, we have numerous activities that we do in terms of the screening of all the travelers, and this screening helps us to detect any of these travelers, and we're able to raise alerts.
According to the security chiefs of Arua City and Arua District, there are about 145 porous routes within the 2 local governments where local people are helping by reporting any suspicious individuals from DRC.
And amidst the challenge of us having several porous routes, we have not had any new cases coming into our community through the porous routes. Why? Because the community is vigilant to the level that they can report any new arrival.
In training 100 community resource persons, like we have the local council one, the school teachers, the religious leaders, and the opinion leaders.
Charles Ayume, the state minister in charge of primary health care, thanked the U.S. government for supporting health emergencies in Uganda.
So the coming of our guests, our partners, actually they are not guests, they are partners. They have been with us for over 30 years, and we have walked the journey together, not only with Ebola, but with HIV/AIDS, which has been one of the biggest pandemics.
Joseph Odama, UBC News.
A public health specialist, Philip Okello, has unveiled an ambitious agenda to transform lives through community service, education and environmental conservation.
The sound of traditional drums and vibrant cultural performances set the tone for a colorful evening as the Rotary Club of Kigo installed its 8th president, Philip Okello Apira, at Hotel Lavena in Seguku, Wakiso district. The ceremony is also about celebrating achievements and exemplary leadership, accountability, and delivering successful community initiatives.
So help me God.
In his inaugural address, President Apira pledged to champion impactful community service with a strong focus on environment and expanding educational opportunities for vulnerable children, particularly those living with deaf, blindness, and physical disabilities in Kampala and Gulu.
Education and literacy. When we look at education and literacy, we have targeted our signature project, which is the Butungo Primary School, but we also targeted the School of the Handicapped, the Deaf and the Blind in Gulu, so that we are able to provide what can improve their education.
He challenged members to strengthen partnerships and embrace innovative collaborations to increase the club's impact in transforming lives.
But this year we don't want to only impact community. We would like lasting impact. And so every member is called upon to come and work with us, to commit into playing a role and in giving, in providing service, in starting a partnership like with UBC, and so that we are able to come together and impact community.
The colorful ceremony ended on a celebratory note as outstanding club members were recognized with awards for their dedication and exceptional service in Rotary's mission of service above self.
Leaders of the Ghetto Structure Initiative in Busoga have commended President Museveni for rolling out the programs that aim at improving livelihoods of the disadvantaged youth. The leaders made the remarks during a regional retreat in Iganga.
More than 130 leaders drawn from ghetto structures across the Busoga sub-region have gathered in Iganga for a 3-day retreat aimed at strengthening leadership, promoting wealth creation and promoting efforts to build crime-free communities.
Abana aba ghetto bano ekibafuula aba ghetto mbeera eyaliwo. So tuligezaako okubona nti tubatoolayo bafuuka abantu abatuufu, abantu abatebenkevu. Era boona beenyigire ne mu byo kuva mu bwavu mu nkulaakulana.
Held under the theme Empowering the Ghettos for a Crime-Free Society, the retreat brought together representatives from 131 ghetto depots across the region.
Programu eno yetwatandiseewo eri kutoola abavubuka mu bwavu okubatwala mu nsi ye munaasobola okweyagaliramu ng'abavubuka nga musobola okubaako ne kye mwekolera ekinaabasobozesa okubaawo ne famire daimwe.
Deputy National Coordinator of the Ghetto Structure Project, Major Emma Kutesa, said the initiative was introduced by President Museveni to enable disadvantaged youth to access government empowerment programs through organized circles and community structures.
His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda ye yasookeddeko okutereeza ghettos mu ggwanga muno. Tewali omuntu n'omu yali azitegeerako. Tewali. Yasookera mu ki? Mu ghettos. Ate ne General Damulira eyajja yasookera ddala kujja wano okujja okubanoonya okutambula mu Busoga n'okulaba nti gye muli nammwe mujjukirwa kubanga n'addayo n'abulira omukulembeze w'agamba n'agamba nti Busoga nayo erina okutereezebwa mu nsonga za ghetto.
The retreat was organized by the Office of the Special Presidential Assistant on Press and Mobilization and Deputy Press Secretary to the President, Alhaj Farouk Chirunda, in partnership with the Uganda Police Force Crime Intelligence Directorate. National Female Youth Member of Parliament, Masika Nyesige, encouraged young people to take advantage of the available empowerment opportunities, saying they are intended to improve livelihoods across the country.
We take a break and return with business news.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira mulingo mutima kukankana like drums. Kalakata, enendungo ya kusabula. Mikono tu, free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
What if accessing government services became easier, faster and closer to you? Introducing Service Uganda Centers, a new initiative designed to bring key government services closer to the people under one convenient location. Less movement from office to office, less unnecessary travel, better access to services and information. At the Service Uganda Centers, citizens will be able to access national ID services, passport processing, business registration, land and revenue services, and more, all in one convenient location. Whether you are in the city or upcountry, Service Uganda Centers are being designed with you in mind. Enjoy faster service, professional guidance, and a seamless customer experience. This is an initiative of the Government of Uganda, digitally powered by the National Information Technology Authority Uganda, NITA, under the Uganda Digital Acceleration Project Government Network. Service Uganda Centers, bringing services closer to the people.
MTN voice bundle. Yeah. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later. Hey, Mama.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21# and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
They share an office. Some work in the day, some at night. What they have in common: focus, dedication. That's what makes them champions. They also share something else: the reward of being one. The official beer of the FIFA World Cup 2026. Not for persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Are you an elite runner, fitness enthusiast, or adventure seeker? Get ready for a run in paradise at the Fort Portal City Marathon on July 18th, 2026. Experience the beauty, culture, and energy of Uganda's tourism city for only 60,000 Ugandan shillings. Register now at www.fortcitymarathon.com or dial *272*7#. Mwije tugende toro for a run in paradise in partnership with the Tourism Ministry, Capital Radio, Rock Telecom, Castle Light, Jeans Club, Kahive, and Toro Kingdom.
Authorities in Lira City are demanding government to explain the reported suspension of plans to upgrade 9 key roads that were earmarked under their Kibwa Olympic Stadium project.
But we are asking whether this should be the norm.
Concern is mounting in Lira City after works on 9 roads covering a combined distance of 18.3 kilometers intended to support the Kibwa Olympic Stadium project were put on hold.
And 9 roads were earmarked for construction. However, we note from the reports received that the construction of these roads have been halted, that they are not going to be undertaken together with the current work going at Kibwa. Now, this is worrying.
The roads would improve accessibility to the stadium and ease movement within the city as Uganda prepares to host a major international sporting event.
The city, in their wisdom, left almost all the roads in the city east that should have benefited from the World Bank UGMID project. Almost all the critical roads in Lira City East Division may not be undertaken. I think only 2 roads. So this causes a big imbalance of development, which does not rhyme with the objectives of the UN Sustainable Development Goals and does not fit in the national development project programs in terms of equitable development.
The Kibwa Olympic Stadium, currently under construction, is one of the country's flagship sports infrastructure projects and will feature a 20-seat stadium.
But we are asking whether this should be the norm for the people of this city to receive good things by first of all raising a strong voice to government before it is acted upon. I've not heard this about Hoima Stadium. I've not heard this about other developments in the country.
We are engaging all of them. Ministry of Works, Ministry of Education and Sports, and particularly National Council of Sports. And the earlier we get this decision, the better for us.
Lira City Mayor Sam Atul says the roads would connect visitors and residents to the stadium, and leaving them unfinished would diminish the value of the multi-billion shilling sports complex.
If it were not for this arrangement, maybe we would have picked it under USMID. If it's supposed to be paved by us as City Council under USMID, then it does not catch up with the time. And that's why we still insist that government should come out clear and tell us.
The city leaders say the success of the Kibwa Olympic Stadium depends on the facility support to the infrastructure that connects it to the rest of the city. Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
In the world of sport, the National Anti-Doping Organization Uganda, NADO-U, Play Through Outreach has entered its second day in Gulu, with Sacred Heart Secondary School in Gulu first in the northern Uganda to launch a National Anti-Doping Organization Uganda, NADO-U Play.
Sacred Heart Secondary School in Gulu has become the first in Uganda to launch a National Anti-Doping Organization Play Through Outreach Club.
Today, as we officially launched the Anti-Doping Club, we are providing some education material in the form of an education tool.
The school that hosts numerous sports competitions is proud to have come this far and has used sports to heal from the wounds of a Joseph Kony attack.
There are many people who are suffering from mental health because of taking drugs. Not only for sports, but generally after the war, many people are engaged in taking drugs. We feel dizzy. Anti-doping program in the north will not only help the sporting people or learners, but also the community, because the entire community is affected.
To National Anti-Doping Organization Uganda, NADO-U, this is a dream come true that is expected to invigorate the anti-doping message, especially to the youth.
We have chosen Sacred Heart to launch this first ever anti-doping club at this particular school is because of its historical background in relation to a lot of being surrounded by a lot of drug consumption as a community, and with the coming of the National Anti-Doping Organization and this anti-doping club, we believe it's quite timely. It's going to be able to create awareness among our girls that are here in Sacred Heart and also the community at large.
The National Anti-Doping Organization Uganda is using the Uganda Secondary School Sports Association ball games too to intensify this message, with girls expected to benefit the most.
This will be able to help them in their sports to perform normally without the use of their drugs and to keep them fit forever.
NADO-U has allayed fears of the community that also produces many elite national team players and promises to spread the anti-doping message to all corners of the country.
It may affect like athletes in a way that it might damage their body, it might cause complications and addictions.
The penultimate day for the NADO-U Play Through Outreach activations in Gulu will tomorrow focus on opening a national club.
Uganda has officially joined the Invictus Games Foundation as its 26th member, marking a historic milestone for the country and strengthening Africa's presence in the global sporting movement.
Uganda is now one of only 2 African nations after Nigeria to become part of the Invictus Games Foundation, an organization that uses the power of sport to support the recovery and rehabilitation of wounded, injured, and sick military service personnel. Uganda's journey to this has been one of patience and written in the good hands of the able leadership of President Yoweri Museveni, whose guidance has enabled the country's seriality.
In line with the vision and the guidance of His Excellency the President. So we got to understand, I personally got to understand more about the Invictus Games family. And it's from that basis when we went back to Uganda, we was able to have a meeting with the Chief of Defense Forces, General Mkhitaryan, who is the head of the military, and then also we were able to invite the Invictus Game team to come to Uganda. And I want to thank the CDF, because when we shared with him, he was able to buy in to ensure that we joined the movement. So when we had a meeting with him, he was also able to brief the president. There was need for us to join the Invictus movement. And I want to appreciate the president. When the team came to Uganda, the president met them and entirely explained the roles, the mission, the goal and objectives of the Invictus movement, and in line with our involvement as Uganda.
The country is set to make its debut at the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027, where Ugandan athletes will join participants from across the world in celebrating resilience, courage and determination.
Testing, giving confidence to the injured soldiers, but also appreciating their role they play in peacekeeping missions, liberating countries, and also to reintegrate them into the society. And that's what we have been learning, and I want to confirm that Uganda has officially been admitted as the 26th member of the Invictus movement. So what is our role as the Ministry of Education and Sports? There is a component of sports in the movement. That's why you see they always organize Invictus Games every 2 years. Like for instance this year, it's going to be next year. It's going to be Rwanda.
Uganda's High Commission to the UK has been pivotal for Uganda to gain this status.
The best part about this partnership is not only do they come and allow our athletes, our wounded vets, to participate in one of the world's first ever Wounded Vets Olympics, if I could call it that. So it's not the Paralympics, it's not the Olympics, it's strictly for wounded soldiers and vets and servicemen. You could be a policeman, you could be a policewoman, men and women. There are particular games, swimming, netball, kickball, there's different versions of games.
The Invictus Games provide a platform for affected service personnel to rebuild confidence, develop new skills, and find renewed purpose through sporting competition.
Our government, our policy, our Minister of Defense has been here. He has met several Ministers of Defense. There is a relationship that we're building now within the circle or the family of Invictus that allows us to have best practices. As a country, what are we doing? So Uganda has proposed to be the first African regional country that will host an African Games, an African Invictus Games, where soldiers, wounded veterans from different African countries can come to Africa and compete after Birmingham in 2027, and this is a proposal we've put to the family and the foundation. Secondly, as a country, what best practices can we introduce into the family? Because, for example, every nation is unique. So, what are we giving back as Uganda? Our first best practice, I have to say, is we do not discontinue our service members. We allow them to continue in government. We pay them daily. This is a very important thing to our Commander-in-Chief and to our Chief of Defense Forces, that they get paid, that their wives and children can continue in the livelihood and the lifestyle that they were accommodated to before, after, during the injuries that they have served. But more
at the admission ceremony, Prince Harry witnessed Uganda's formal entry into the foundation, highlighting the growing global impact of the Invictus movement. The officials welcomed the development as a significant opportunity for Uganda to promote inclusivity, rehabilitation, and the transformative power of sport.
And what I have seen in my relationship with Invictus is the power of sport. We don't really consider the mental health of our soldiers, how far, what they've seen, what they've gone through, what they've done, and to come home and not be the person that you left home as. So Invictus gives them a time and an opportunity to have a conversation about rehabilitation. And once they are rehabilitated, mind, body and soul, the rest is, what do I do next?
Uganda's participation in the Invictus Games Birmingham 2027 will mark a new chapter in recognizing and supporting the service and sacrifice of military personnel who are mainly accommodated at the Mubende Rehabilitation Center. The Invictus Games feature 9 core adaptive sports including track and field, archery, cycling, indoor rowing, sitting volleyball, swimming, and wheelchair basketball. Other countries in the foundation are New Zealand, Italy, Israel, France, Estonia, Canada, Brazil, and Belgium.
Elites have won the championships of St. Mary's College Kisubi after beating Gladiators.
We are having for the fight, pressing on with all the might.
After a pulsating season involving 22 teams that were evenly divided into 2 groups, the curtain has fallen on the St. Mary's College Kisubi Smack League Season 8.
Play the game, keep the flame, burning brightly ever.
In the main cup grand finale at Kampala Rugby Club, Aaron Junior Musimi was the hero for Elite, scoring a brace to guide his cohort of 2008 to a historic title after edging Gladiators 2-1.
We have managed to win this final by 2 goals to 1. It was a great team effort. We thank God first for he has enabled us to win this game. We have faced Gladiators. It was a good team. They have good players. It all goes back to the coach and the team. We have been doing this. We have been training well. The coach has been very hard on us. He wanted to see results. He wanted to see goals. And I thank God that today I managed to score those 2 goals to put our team in the best place possible.
In other results, Knights defeated Phantoms 3-2 on penalties after 1-all draw to clinch 3rd place, while Mafias lifted the Founders Cup with a late winner against Vikings.
Some of you know we started at the IUA, our first home for the regular season, and then for the knockouts we've been here in Ugogo. So that means there are certain reasons for which we have moved, and part of it is of course for the fun. We decided to come back to the city closer to where our people are.
The Guinness-powered finale also featured entertainment alongside a free medical camp provided by Case Clinic.
As Guinness, we're very proud to partner with the SMART Old Boys Alumni League, which has been a very strong pillar for our Old Boys League. As Guinness, we are very happy to partner with the game of football, which all over the world creates memories and excitement.
Other teams that took part in the league include Phantoms, Knights, Cyclones, Devils, Vendors, and Zulus. Organizers say preparations are already underway for Season 9, which is expected to kick off later this year.
That brings us to what we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael Jedon Lukumu. On behalf of the whole team, wish you the best of the night and the week we start. Bye-bye.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. The Journey program on UBC TV.
Hello viewers, my name is Julius Ochwenyo and I'm one of the authors of this country, Uganda. I come